I quit a 6-figure job for a business that was making me zero. It actually put me $40,000 in debt.
I would not recommend the way he did it, but this guy has big balls.
It was kind of scary. You have a $2,200 mortgage. You have a $1,500 truck payment. You have a girlfriend you need to take care of. And it's like, what do I do? So then it's time to get to work. And it's like, put your head down, wake up earlier than what you were waking up for the job.
Go to sleep later.
Go to sleep later, get less sleep, probably eat less, and there's more stress.
Straight struggle mode.
That's it.
Yeah.
But that's what comes with being a business owner. And that's where it's like reality hit. You're like, holy smokes, is this what I want?
I'm freaking hyped for this podcast. I feel like we've been needing to just sit down and actually record us having a conversation, because every time we talk, it's like just gems on gems on gems. And I'm just like, we didn't record any of that. Like, there's so much content to be made. So I'm hyped to finally get a conversation on camera. But before we get into everything, let's start from the beginning. Where did you start? What was your mindset? And how did you end up making your agency?
So it all started when I was working a 9-to-5.
Okay.
Construction supervisor for new homes. Was doing very well, youngest in the company.
Nice.
And I just had some conversations with people that didn't have the same mindset as me, didn't have the same perspective, and I realized that I don't belong there.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. Then just in the agency space, I guess probably the majority of us, is what Iman. Seeing all those guys and seeing what they're doing. And so I got curious, started with Facebook ads, went into SEO, which is where I met you in the mentorship.
Yeah.
And after that, we started our agency, which was a lot of lessons. I want to call it losses, but a lot of lessons. And then tailored my business into a whole bunch of things that I learned and just combined them all and went with that.
Nice. Let's dive a little bit deeper on like the start of it. So you had the 9-to-5, you were the youngest in the company. What did that look like? Why did you end up leaving that? I think it takes a lot of balls in order to leave a company, especially being the youngest and then making the amount of money you were making. I don't know if you want to disclose that, but I know it's definitely in the 6-figure mark. Buying a house also, just because I know a lot about your story. You bought a house, ended up renting out your house and all these different things. I'll let you get into more detail, but tell us more about that.
Yeah, so it was... I was getting paid close to 150, and plus bonuses and everything. Amazing pay. I was started at 21, I believe, 20. And since then, they just kept giving me opportunities to grow and give me promotions. And it was great, right? Because prior to that, I was struggling to find a job. I was in the oil refineries, traveling state to state, working 70 hours a week. It was just ridiculous, right? And so I started with that, and it was great. And then I started getting into conversations with a lot of people, especially my mentor, my trainer, the guy that taught me everything in the business, just how their perspective was, the limited belief they had. And one of the examples I have is we were talking and sent him a Lamborghini, a picture of one that was for sale and $300,000, and it's like someday, and he was like, yeah, right. I'm like, wow, this is not where I belong. Yeah. And I knew what I wanted. I knew the goals, but I knew being in that company in a 9-to-5, working for someone else, I wouldn't get there. Yeah. Then it was like, okay, I need to change something. Something needs to change. I need to take a risk. I need to figure out what is it that I want to do. And that's when I started getting curious into marketing. Yeah. I did buy a house while I had that job. I had a girlfriend at the time, and I also bought a brand new truck. So I had a lot of, I wouldn't call it baggage, but a lot of responsibilities. And it was pretty hefty. But I just decided, you know what, the only way to find out what I'm capable of is to take the risk. And it wasn't the risk of leaving the job. I think the biggest risk was staying there. That's good. And because if I was to stay there, I wouldn't be able to figure out my full potential, because it was so much baggage and limited beliefs that were influencing me there, that I wouldn't have been able to grow or excel outside of that. So that's where it really started. Yeah. And what were some like key things? I know you said, your mentor / boss trainer basically telling you you're not going to be able to achieve your dreams here. That's basically what I heard from what you said. There was that. And then was there anything else that kind of led you to, okay,
I'm leaving this job. Like, I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I could end up being homeless or extremely successful, and I'm willing to take that risk. Like, what was your, like, okay, this is the pivoting point?
I think it was just the education I started exposing myself to and the friends that I had in my circle. And it was, when I say education, it was the podcast of people saying, you know, like, you're never going to find out your full potential staying at a 9 to 5, you know, and it was my friend saying, you just have to have that, you know, that faith.
Yeah.
You have to take that leap of faith. And that's where it's like, you just got to trust it. You got to have the faith. You got to, you know, do everything you can. You're quitting a 9 to 5 to work 24/7. And that's where not a lot of people realize that it's cool to say, I'm a business owner, I'm a CEO, I don't work for someone. But in reality, there's so much more that comes with that. And I learned that and realized, like, I'm willing to take that on, and I would rather make 50K a year, you know, working for myself than 150K a year working for someone else.
100%.
It's the time freedom, right? The time freedom at the end. You don't get much of that at the beginning.
Yeah.
You just have to remember that everything happens in your favor, and continuously keep going, keep striving for the best, learn everything, take everything as a lesson, you know, not a loss.
Yeah.
And I think the pivoting point was the realization that I don't belong here. I know just growing up in general, I would always say, I want to own a business. I want to be a business owner. I never knew what that meant. It was just the fact of saying it, you know, but the realization of I won't grow where I'm at now. And the only way to find out if I can grow is doing it on my own.
Right.
And not for someone else.
100%. I think that's what a lot of people that end up actually taking the risk feel. But for the people that are still in that that I don't know phase, or like that, I have a lot of responsibilities and I don't know if I should take the risk. It's just like, what would you tell that person? Because I know we spoke before and you were like, there's only positive outcomes that can come from this. So like, what was that mindset for you?
I think to your first question, like, if anyone else is stuck in that transition phase or that I don't know, it really depends on their situation, right? I have nothing to lose because I don't have a family to take care of.
Yeah.
I was capable of renting my house out and getting rid of that. You know, I was willing to just, you know, live below my means and get rid of the truck expense and got something that's just going to get me where I need to go. But it really just depends on your situation.
Yeah.
But it's the perspective of changing, like, everything does happen in your favor. You know, the wins, the losses, you know, whatever it is, there's something either to learn from it or grow from, you know, no matter what.
Yeah.
And if you're in that situation, I would sit back and see what is it that you're trying to build, not for yourself, but your future family and generations to come.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the perspective that I have, is like, I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my future kids, my wife, my grandkids, my great grandkids. Like,
real quick, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. It's almost selfish if you don't take that risk.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, the fact that you don't want to take that risk is going to end up hurting your family and what could be your family in the future. But yeah, I'll let you continue.
I think, like, it's being selfish, but it's also telling God that you don't trust him.
That's true.
Like,
no faith.
No, there's no faith in it. It's like yes, it's scary at the moment, but if you have those visions and you have that belief and you have these ideas, they're not just coming out of thin air. Yeah. They're being given to you for a reason, and it's your purpose. And that's what it is. It's like, God doesn't look at your bank account. He doesn't look at your situation. He doesn't look at what you're going through within your life. He gives you that because there's a reason, you know, to become what he's telling you to become.
Yeah, I agree. Once you decided to take the leap, was it sunshine and rainbows at the beginning? Did you end up closing 50 clients instantly? Like, what was the starting process whenever you actually ended up taking that leap? Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people think, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to make a lot of money now, like, I'm going to be rich, all these different things. You know what I mean? So what did that look like for you?
So I think you kind of remember it, but it's like, you're going to have that moment, that like exciting moment, like where you're like, I'm free. Right? I'm not working for someone.
It's like the first like week or two.
Yeah. It's the first week or two. You're like, dude, I'm free. I don't have to wake up and like get dressed for this job and, you know, go and work 20 for them and then come back home and be tired. And you're like, oh, it feels good, right?
Yeah.
And then it starts getting to where in my situation, shit, I have a mortgage. I have a mortgage I need to pay.
Reality hits.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, now I don't know when my next check's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at that time, I kind of quit at a good moment to where I still had one more check coming in.
Yeah.
But all that was going towards my mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, okay, reality hits. Is like, what do I need to do now?
Yep.
Where is my money coming from? And no, I had 0 clients. Actually, I quit a 6-figure job for a business that was making me 0. It actually put me $40,000 in debt.
I would not recommend the way he did it, but this guy has big balls.
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of scary. It's like $40,000 in debt. You have a $2,200 mortgage. You have a $1,500 truck payment. You have a girlfriend you need to take care of. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what do I do? So then it's time to get to work.
Yeah.
And it's like, put your head down, work 24/7, wake up earlier than what you were waking up for the job.
Go to sleep later.
Get less sleep.
Yeah.
Probably eat less. And there's more stress.
Straight struggle mode.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what comes with being a business owner. And that's where it's like reality hit. You're like, holy smokes, is this what I want?
Yeah.
But that's when it's having the right circle around you to tell you this is what you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
This is the hard. And if you don't go through the struggle and you don't go through that hard moment, you're not going to grow.
Yeah.
And so I realized that. I was like, you know what? I need to figure it out. And that's the only way I had, because if I was to go back to my 9-to-5, I proved every single person right. Mm-hmm. And with my ego, I can't. I can't do that, man. So
ego can be negative, but it can also be a positive.
Yeah, definitely. So then I was like, okay. I contacted my mom. She's a realtor. I was like, look, I want to put my house up for rent. And then I got rid of the truck. There's really no reason. Got it. Actually, I got it because my ego, my last boss had one. I was like, okay, I'm going to get a new one, a nicer one. Mm-hmm. That's where ego can not go in your favor.
Dumb decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I broke up with my girl. You know, and this is where it's like, you got to realize, like, you have to be willing to risk everything. Because the people that are willing to risk the things you're not are going to get ahead of you. Mm-hmm. So I risked it all. I was like, you know, I'm quitting this job. I'm in debt, but I'm going to figure it out. I have no income, but I'm going to figure it out. I have a house. Okay, there's a solution. I have a truck I don't need. Get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And so I moved in with my parents. And then it was just like nothing was coming in. We were trying everything. We were running ads. We were spending money. We were building systems. We were coming up with offers. We were just everything. We could not sign one single person.
Yep.
And then so we made the switch. We're like, you know what? There's a time and point in business where you have to decide, do you keep going or is this where you stop and make a shift?
I feel like we're speaking about a business that we both had together.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was literally God, because there was people around us that were seeing success and had worse offers.
Yep.
Their creative wasn't as good. Their targeting wasn't as good, and they were seeing success.
Yeah.
And it was I don't believe anything other than it was God telling us this is not where we're going to find our success. There's something bigger for you. Mm-hmm. And like L after L after L after $1,000 after $1,000 to spend after $1,000 to spend. Yep. I don't know how much we ended up spending. It was definitely it was easily over 10K that we spent. Easily.
Definitely. And the equipment and the time, the travel, just everything that we could think of. Like, we're just like, let's do it. Like, let's figure it out. But that's the thing, is like having the right person next to you to push you, but also know when it's like, hey, we need to sit back and observe.
Yeah.
Like, there's something we're doing wrong. And when you said L's, we didn't take them as losses. We took them as lessons.
Right.
So when we did that, we're like, okay, where can we make the shift of everything that we learned and put it into something else that could work? Mm-hmm. And that's when we both started our separate offers. And it started growing from there. Mm-hmm. That's why it's like, okay, this is where we need to make a shift. This is where we need to take another leap of faith and figure it out again.
Yep. And
I think since we made that leap of faith of going from the business that we put so much time, effort, and money into, because anyone would have probably kept going, but also anyone would have just quit and went back to a 9 to 5.
The majority of people would have quit.
Yeah. So it's like, we decided, let's not quit, but let's shift.
Let's pivot.
Yeah. And I think that's where it's like, it separates us from the 99.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the good thing of having the group that we have, just to continuously push. And like, we have someone that we can talk to, is like, yo, like, how are you doing this? What should we do here? Like, how did you create this offer? I know you helped me with a lot of like offers and writing proposals and stuff. It was just like that shift of things. But that's where it's like, it really made the big shift into what we're doing now. And the visions that God gave us is starting to come to life.
Yeah, dude, having winners around you, and that doesn't even necessarily mean financially, but having winners with just the mindset of wanting to win, like putting everything on the line, wanting to win, whether it's through faith and just growing their faith as much as possible, whether it's through business, relationships, networking, that type of like having winners around you with positive mindsets will completely change your life. And I completely like, I will die on that, you know, because it's helped me. Like, bro, I was around people back in the day where like video games was it. And then if anything, like if I tried to like give an idea, it'd be cool. And the idea would be awesome for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And then it would die. Yep. You know, there's action that needs to be taken, and put yourself around people that take action quickly, and you're going to win.
You need to have people that's like, when you come up with an idea, that they come to you a week later and it's like, hey, how's the idea going?
Facts.
Because
accountability, dude.
Yeah. It's having the people that are going to hold you accountable, because anyone can have an idea, right? But there's so many ideas that are in the grave right now. And it's the people that didn't take action, but also didn't have the people around them to hold them accountable.
Yep.
And I think that's one big thing that I'm grateful for, is like just having the group that I have, having you guys, and continuously pushing me and reminding me like, hey, what's going on?
100%.
What are you doing? Why haven't you posted? You know, it's like, that's what people need. So it's like, when people are taking that leap of faith, find that group. But there's also going to be the time where you take the leap of faith and you don't have anyone. And that's what not a lot of people talk about, is the lonely phases. You're going to go through so many, because if you're not going through a lonely period in your life, you're not growing. Because it's that step from being in the group that you probably shouldn't be in, and finding the group that you should.
Yeah.
And that's where the lonely phase is. But if you're continuously growing, you're going to continuously have them. And that's just a part of being an entrepreneur.
Yep. People definitely are going to be phasing in and out of your life. And that's just natural. That's the way humans are. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think the lonely phase is where you really, quote unquote, get to know yourself. I know people use that so loosely now, but that's really where you start to understand yourself, and you start to see your weaknesses and your strengths. So I completely agree.
Yeah. And it's not like, when I say lonely, it's not you're lonely, it's being alone. Because if you have God in a relationship with God, you shouldn't feel lonely. Right. But being alone is what builds a man. And that's where you really find your true self. 100%. So there's a really big difference. So if you have that relationship, when you're never going to really feel alone, but it's okay to be alone. You know what I mean? The 100%. Lonely.
Yeah. Alone. I mean, in the Bible also, like every time Jesus would do some type of big miracle, he would always try to isolate himself to regain and recharge and just like get back on track. So I think it's extremely important just to bring that even to like a biblical standpoint. Yeah. So that was the journey into getting to where you are now. So where are you at now? What are you doing for clients? Why do people need momentum marketing in their life?
So what I'm doing now is I'm helping local service businesses build their brand and gain more traffic. Okay. And the way we do that is we run paid advertisement. We really want to get in front of anyone that doesn't know them. The biggest problem that a majority of like businesses have is no one knows they exist. So you want to make sure you're obvious. You want to build that trust. You want to be everywhere. I mean, look at Nike. You're always going to see their logo somewhere. If it's socks, if it's a hat, if it's shoes. If you look at Adidas, you know, anything that you can think of that you constantly see, they know marketing because they know they need to be there and be obvious. So we run paid advertisement with strategic targeting where it's all about the hook within the first 3 seconds. It's a strong body. It keeps their attention, visual hooks, and then a strong call to action. And that's paid advertisement. But then with when you go into social media, you don't want to have a call to action, because if it's constantly reminding someone like, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this, they're going to get annoyed.
It's a turn off.
Yeah. So if they're really interested, they're naturally going to go to the description, and then that's where you guide them.
Yeah.
Then with that, you're going to get so many leads and so many people and traffic coming in, you're going to get overwhelmed. So what we do is build a system that's going to capture those leads, which we know as a CRM, and it's going to capture leads and nurture them. We have AI to where it follows up with them within the first 2 minutes. It buys your time back, but it also just allows you to deal with the people that are actually ready.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, we'll build websites that are mainly focused on lead generation. We'll rank your business higher on Google Maps, which is called SEO, search engine optimization.
Yep.
And we'll continuously do that. Just find a way to make their brand known, bring them more traffic, and continuously grow it.
Yeah. Which I like. And we're in very similar positions, just in different cities, because we do very similar things. But one thing that I would say for both of us that I can appreciate is we don't work with everyone. We do everything for them, but we work with certain people, certain people that have the vision to grow, and then also certain people that just understand marketing, because a lot of people, they'll see a big cost. They won't see it as an investment. They'll see it as an expense.
Yeah. So for example, it's like you have one guy that has $1 and you ask him for 50 cents for your service. That's 50% of what he has, which is a big chunk. Then you have one guy that has $100 and you ask for $1. That's only 1% of what he has.
Yeah.
So it's the difference between the guy that has a business and sees it as an investment, but doesn't like affect him very much in a negative way, right? And then you have one guy that's a solopreneur that it's 50% of what he has, and he's gonna bother you all the time.
Yeah.
He's gonna, it's like it's a big portion of what he has, so he expects a whole lot more.
Yeah.
So it's like finding the difference, finding who you really want to work with, and that's where it's building your avatar.
Yeah.
And figuring out who it is that you really want to service, that sees you as an investment and not a liability.
Yeah. And I want to point out as well, with that analogy, you doubled the price to the guy that had $100.
Yeah.
So you can get more money and do more for someone that has more money. It's just the way that economics works, and like fortunately and unfortunately.
Yeah.
If somebody has more money, you can then use more resources to get them better results. If you have less money, you're going to use less resources and you might not get as good results.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree. Where do you see momentum marketing in the next 6 months, year? You can go 5-year plan if you want to, but what does the future look like?
Next 6 months are going to be crazy. Right now, we're getting a lot of momentum. We're getting a lot of people.
See what you did there?
Yeah, there you go. We get a lot of people and just interested right now.
Yeah.
And we're about to launch ads. Have all our systems and our offers like going. And right now it's just been referral, but it's the circle that I have that's referring me, and it's high quality people. So it's those people that we're talking about with the $100. And hopefully I do want to just focus on quality and consistency. So that's where I see it in the next 6 months, is having a team that's dedicated to certain things and tasks, so we can really systemize it and make sure it's running smooth. The best experience, customer experience, is very important to us, and just continue to grow from there.
Yeah.
But also grow the team and build the business, because right now we're maybe 10 people within the team. I want to 5x that.
Yeah.
I want to get 50 people. And with that, I need to make sure I'm bringing in traffic.
Just to be completely transparent, those 10 people that are on your team are not full-time employees. Like,
no,
you use them when you need them.
Yeah.
Some of them are contracted. Some of them are kind of basically full-time employees, but the majority are contracted, because I feel like it'd be difficult. Don't get 10 employees and put them full-time. You're going to get cooked.
Yeah.
Contract and use people strategically, because that's going to help you a ton. If you can minimize expenses as much as possible within your business, especially starting and especially as you scale, you're going to do so much better than if you're barely making ends meet every month. So I just wanted to throw that in there as well.
I agree. Yeah. But it's going to be crazy the next 6 months to a year. one of me and my clients, we were talking, and when we started working, we wanted to work on a different offer in a business, and we were thinking maybe in the next year, but it's happening now. He contacted me yesterday. He's like, man, we got to get to work. We have this, and we have a lot of people contact us and, interested. So we're in the process of starting another company, which I think is going to do very well, just given our background of him and I. And from that, it's going to grow. Momentum's going to grow. We just want to really just narrow down on the people we're servicing. And it's hard to say, but, turn away the people that aren't our ideal clients.
Of course.
That's where people do mess up. They take on anyone.
Yeah.
They take on anyone. That's where they really spread themselves thin, and it ends up crashing their business.
100%. That's cool, man. And just to even iterate on the very beginning of this conversation, if you never took that leap, you would have never ended up in this circle. You would have never ended up getting the opportunity that you have now, where you're about to go into business with one of the people that you actually met through networking. It's a full circle thing. Yeah. And I think being an entrepreneur, the biggest thing you can do is just continue to have everything you do compound in the positive, because you can have things definitely compound in the negative. You waking up late every day, you eating bad, you not hitting the gym. Those are all negative compounding effects. But getting consistent on a good routine and just compounding on good things, bro, you're just gonna crush like you have been.
It's focusing on who you want to be and where you want to be. And remembering that it's daily sacrifices and small improvements. It's that book that I highly recommend is Atomic Habits. It talks about just the 1% increments of increasing and doing positive things that are just going to compound.
100%.
And one thing you said is about that event that I went to. So I went to a networking event, right? And this is where I got into the circle. The start of the circle is I actually couldn't afford the ticket to get in. So I contacted a friend that I knew the group. It's a huge car group. And I was like, hey, do you think you can get me in? And she was capable of doing it. So I told her, anyone that I close today here, you will get a percent of what I close. And that was just having, going back to the circle that we have is keeping those connections and keeping those people close. I was broke. I think it was $100 ticket.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, well, this is where I need to be a dog. This is where I need to get everyone's information, not be scared, take that leap of faith. And remembering, this is one thing I tell myself every day, you have everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Right.
And that's going and talking to women. That's going to, events. That's going to talking to people and asking what they do for work, anything. The worst thing they can say is no.
Right.
But the best thing that can happen is completely change your life. You're one person away from being a millionaire every single day of your life.
That's good.
So it's if you just take that leap of faith and keep that in your mind of you have everything to gain and nothing to lose, you will meet amazing people and create great opportunities for yourself.
Let's go, dude. I'm fired up. Just even listening to this, I'm fired up. This is how our conversations go 90% of the time. Yeah. The other 10%, we're just doing stupid stuff. But 90% of the time, we are just this is how our brains work and function, just bouncing ideas off each other, and just, it's great. Yeah. But thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go. And hopefully we'll have another one soon.
Looking forward to it.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Let's go.